What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Enclave Cinehome Pro 5.1. Now, before we get this unboxed, if you're an audio and video enthusiast and new to this channel, consider subscribing for more videos like these. Inside we get an accessories box containing some documentation, a pair of white gloves to keep the fingerprints away, and here we have 6 power cords for each speaker. In the second box we have a quick startup guide, the power supply for the hub, and here we have the HDMI cable and the Cinehome hub. This is a 5.1 channel setup, so you'll get a dedicated center channel and 2 left and right speakers, each measuring 5.3 inches deep by 24.1 inches wide by 3.4 inches high, and they each weigh 8 pounds. All 3 speakers have 2 3-inch woofers and a 1-inch soft dome tweeter. The surrounds are a little smaller, measuring 3.4 inches wide by 16.1 inches high by 5.3 inches deep, and they weigh 5 pounds. They have a single 3-inch driver and a soft dome tweeter. The system also comes with a fairly large subwoofer. It measures 12 inches wide by 18.8 inches high by 14.4 inches deep, and it weighs 27 pounds. And you'll find a 10-inch driver inside the sealed enclosure. Controlling all of the speakers is the hub. In the back are inputs for HDMI, which has support for EARC, optical, and a 3.5mm input. There's also support for Bluetooth streaming as well. Now, even though this is a wireless system, you will still have to power the speakers. So insert the power cord in each one and flip the power switch. The surround speakers will be placed on the sides of my seating area. The center will be under my TV, and I'll be placing the left and rights on top of my tower speakers. The subwoofer will be placed in the front corner. Next thing you'll have to do is download the Enclave app on either Android or on iOS. Once you open the app, it'll prompt you to set up the system and give you a little tutorial on how to plug everything in and the speaker placements. Once it finds the hub, just click Connect. All of the speakers should be highlighted orange if they're connected to the hub. Under Settings, up top, it'll show you the audio format that's playing. This is the Apple TV, so it's in PCM, but you can see I've got Dolby Digital and DTS here as well. For ProLogic mode, you have a few presets depending on what sounds good to you. Here you've got a couple dynamic range presets, whole room stereo if you're throwing a party. For a room setup, this is where you'll put in the distance for each one of the speakers. Under speaker level, if you touch on a speaker, it'll play a test tone through it. Use your sound level meter to match up all the speakers and you'll be good to go. And lastly, time to check for a firmware update. And of course, there is one. This whole process takes about 10 minutes. Once you restart it, you should see the new firmware version here.
And this is Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos can build worlds of sound to tell any story. It catches all the little details, puts you in the center of the action. It sounds just like the real world. And transports you to faraway lands. Go inside the story with breakthrough sound. Dolby Atmos.
This is a nice handy little home theater. For those that don't know, it runs off of WiSA, which stands for Wireless Speaker and Audio. The Cinehub will send uncompressed 24-bit 96K high-res audio to each one of the individual speakers in its own 5 GHz wireless network. Sound quality-wise, I found the system could outperform many of the soundbars that I've reviewed. You could find those reviews on my personal channel, Spare Change, and be sure to subscribe there if you haven't already. Now, the Cinehome Pro is the first THX certified WiSA system, so it can play clean at very loud levels. I found the highs to be soft and rolled off a bit, which makes listening to the system easy on the ears if you're listening at loud volumes. Watching some of my favorite action flicks, I heard a very coherent sound field around my seating area. There was very smooth front-to-back pans, and the center channel had a very nice mid-range presence, anchoring the dialogue. Neither of the speakers ever broke up or sounded harsh when I was cranking up the volume, which is impressive for these types of home theater in a box type of solutions. Now, if you take the subwoofer out of the system, it doesn't sound good at all, so just don't do it. But as far as bass response, I think the subwoofer does a great job of tying the speakers together, and it does dig deep for movies like Midway or Godzilla. I don't think it's the most articulate subwoofer, but it does give an ample amount of boominess to big action blockbuster movies. If you want to stream pop or rap music to the system, the subwoofer will do a fantastic job for those types of songs. One thing that might frustrate some people is the lack of a dedicated remote control. If you're using the system to only watch TV or movies using HDMI ARC, then controlling the volume with the television's remote won't be much of an issue. If you're using the system through its optical or auxiliary input, you will have to control the volume using the app. You'll also have to power it on and off using the app as well. Now, if you're not comfortable using the app, they do offer an optional remote control on their website for $14.99. With that being said, for $1,600 at the time of this video, you could pick up a flagship soundbar with Dolby Atmos and DTS:X support. Or you could get a budget receiver and some speakers for the same price. I do think this is a better sounding alternative to any soundbar, and there's a lot less wires to mess around with if you're going with a receiver and speakers. It's for those folks that want to keep things simple and still get great sound. So what are your thoughts on these WiSA wireless home theater setups? Would you consider getting this over a soundbar? Leave a comment and let us know. Well, thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to give it a like if you found it useful, and be sure to share it with all your loved ones. If you want to support the channel even further to get content you won't find on YouTube, then stop by our Patreon page. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep listening.